Hello everyone, welcome back to the table. It's been a while. I actually, just in case you want to know, I did film some like stuff I got from Origins videos, but I don't know, I just wasn't happy with them. So I didn't upload anything when I got back from Origins. I know sometimes people get excited, they rush to put videos up for all the new stuff, they want to be first. And I said, you know, I could be first and put some things up from Origins, but, you know, why don't I just take my time and make some videos I'm happy with. So this is going to be a take my time, and this is a video I'm happy with video. Now, I didn't film this from after Origins. It just happened to be that I got this in the mail. I ordered this from Noble Knight Games. This is Battleship Bismarck by TS. Now, they are, actually, I think they're Polish. I didn't do my due diligence, but I really think it's Polish company, and it has a name I can't pronounce. So, you know, but the nice thing is their games are usually, from what my understanding, are printed in English and Polish. So you're going to get like two sets of rules in here, which I think is very, very cool of them to do. And why Battleship Bismarck? Well, I like naval warfare games, and to be honest, this is the only naval warfare board game I have. This is it. And I liked what I saw on the internet, like some of the pictures. I thought some of these different charts and things they had for the game were very, very cool, so I was super excited to order it. And Noble Knight, they do use, so this was used. It looked like and felt like somebody ahead of me got it, opened it, and said, no, and sent it back. That's what it feels like, because after playing it, in a way, I'm almost kind of like thinking, no, I want to send it back. But we'll play through and tell you why. So first, a little tiny unboxing. So it does come with, well, it comes with two, well, it was like one stack of cards, but these were already separated. There was Polish cards and then the English cards over here. And then each of them had like these little advertisement cards that were associated. So you had like, let's see, like this one here, really cool artwork, whatever game that's for. And I was like, well, that's cool, you know, F-35, neat. And then it had an ad here for Hastings. And then it had an advertisement here for Kursk, their version of Kursk. So I said, well, those are cool ways to advertise. And then your cards have a really cool, I'm guessing that's a Bismarck Battleship battle backing for your cards. And then these here are the Polish cards. I won't be playing with those. Today I'll be playing with the English cards. I actually have all the counters punched for the first solo game. So again, kind of getting myself hyped for the game. It has two modes. There's a solitaire play, and there's also a multiplayer. It's like two-player game. In the solitaire play, you're playing air and like land-based and water-based naval aircraft, and you're going to be sent to destroy a particular battleship or ship from history. There's like the Japanese Hiryu. And the scenario is going to tell you which type of aircraft you're going to use. And the aircraft come fighting in like two waves. Up here there's like 41 aircraft. That's probably going to go against the Hiryu. Then it has like Swordfish. That's probably the Bismarck and a couple other plane types. But they go on a chart that you use to track your planes and their attack on the aircraft. Then down below there are some markers for some of the ships. We'll look at some other components, but you know, there's some more aircraft, fire, waterline damage, and things used to track your ability to sink the other player. So far I've only played one solitaire game. I'm actually going to change it up. I did play this one, trying to find the English side. This was the Königsberg, I don't speak German, Königsberg chart. Yeah, maybe I will play that one again. I didn't punch the ships or the airplanes. But yeah, I'll play another one. I'll tell you about the Königsberg mission, and then I'll pause the video. We'll come back and we'll play one of the other ships. So here's my first complaint with the game. I'm assuming this is the original box that the game comes in. Like it pretty much feels like this is the artwork and everything. This is the box. It has a neat inner corrugated. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like a corrugated box. I mean, it's just a very interesting box. And again, the artwork for the cover, very cool. I love it. Pow, pow. Problem is, the box is too small for the components. It don't fit. It actually has to curve. Every single component in here does not lay flat. This is the English instruction. So again, I thought that's cool. You get English and Polish instructions, but it's so tight, I have to like just dump everything out. And here's the Polish instructions, right? Look, it doesn't fit in the, where's the camera to show you that? Right here. Oh, here it is. It doesn't fit. Look, it's totally bent. Like I'm bending the product if I want that to fit. That to me seems to be kind of a glaring oversight when creating a game and you want to design packaging. My number one suggestion would be make sure the box is big enough to fit the components. So here's a cool advertisement. I thought this was neat. Nice color. Here's some of our other games that may or may not fit in the box. So the Polish rules, they go on the bottom. They're the liner. And then nothing else fits. It's just crazy. They all bend. Well, okay, to be fair, if I take the Polish rules out, let's say I took the Polish rules out, maybe these fit. It's just that when you put that bent rule book, it causes everything sitting on top of it to bend. This is a tight fit. I would suggest maybe my suggestion would be a slightly bigger box than the product. Okay, this all lays flat if I don't put the rules in. Maybe that's what I'll do. So, okay, sorry, overreacting. I just thought it was weird that the rule book doesn't fit. Let me try the English rules. See, even the English rules suffer that. They bend. So that means if you put stuff in on top of the rules, it all bends and I have the slight bend to everything. All right, that's enough of a gripe. Now, the two-player game, I haven't played a two-player yet. I just did solitaire. But you get this back. And I was actually pretty excited because in a way that I'm guessing with a two-player game or maybe advanced solitaire play, I don't know, you place like your main ship here, then everybody else shows up on your radar display and you battle it out. So I'm curious to see how that actually works, if it works, but it fits. Now for the solo play, let's look at some of the ships here. And no, I don't know how to pronounce these either. So we have these charts. I'll show you what one of the charts looks like if I can open it up. It's a flow chart. So you start up top. Oh, we might do this one. Look, that's only just a handful of airplanes against this Richelieu. I think that's a French, I think. And if my World of Warships knowledge is correct, it had 2 forward main guns that had 4 cannons each. Yeah, I think. But anyway, you got, so it looks like those are some biplanes coming in. So maybe this is early war. But that's what it is. You get a flow chart and you have this damage chart down at the bottom that tells you, depending on where you hit the ship, what damage you do down here. That one's got some hit points. That's nice. So there was a Königsberg, this Richelieu, which I think is the French. There's the Hear You. Yeah, just make sure I get the English side. See, they translated this pretty good, but every once in a while I find some Polish words on the English. But understanding the flow of the game, that hasn't been detrimental. It's usually easy to figure out what you got to do. See, so here, first wave against the Hear You is like 26 aircraft. And then the second wave is 16 aircraft. And then depending on what wave you're at, will modify your approach chart a little bit for the anti-aircraft fire. So it's kind of neat. And then again down below is a little chart where you track the damage that you do. So there's a Hear You. So you had a Königsberg, Richelieu, Hear You, and then finally you have the solo mission against the Bismarck. And here's the English chart. So you have your flow chart up here, aircraft tracker along the top, and then damage display at the bottom. Then the two-player game, and that's the one I actually, oh wait, I missed another solitaire. There's 5 solitaire. This one is against, oh, the Griff. So we have one against the Griff. I think that's another, that looks like a much smaller, I have no idea, but maybe that's a destroyer or something. Boy, they send 32 planes against it, so I'm looking here. I don't know, what the Griff is, but it looks like the strike group is all one phase. There's not like a first group, second group. It's all one big group. All right, cool. So you got like 5 solitaire. And then you have these cool charts again for the 2-player. And I have not read the 2-player rule yet, which would only take about 5 minutes. Trust me, I'll show you the rules here in a second. But so you would take at least 1 or 2 of these ships, and then they fight each other, roll dice, and you see who can sink who. And it gives you a pretty good selection. And believe it or not, I think this is the same thing where one side is English, one side is Polish. So these are all one ship. So here's a Rodney, King George, the Hood, Prince of Wales. Not that now you can see all these. Prince Eugen, I think that's how I pronounce it. Norfolk. Sorry, Norfolk. How embarrassing. Bismarck and Dorsetshire. And then finally a Suffolk. Alright, so you get a handful of ships for the ship versus ship. What would be cool is I would love to see more. I want more. Now, you might be asking me, Eddie, why this one? Well, I'll tell you why, and maybe you all can help me out with some really good game suggestions. I like Navy games that come with nice ship displays, like Starfleet Battles, or Star Blazers Fleet Battles. Star Blazers Fleet Battles has the best ship ship system displays, whatever you want to call these, SSD ship displays, and I like games that have that feel to it. That's why I said Starfleet Battles. There's some other games based on Starfleet Battles in other universes where they still have kind of some sort of ship system display. But this one was like, well, this is cool because it's World War II. So if there's like a nice, I'll even take modern. So if there's like a World War II Navy game or modern that has ship system displays where you actually see some sort of silhouette or top-down view of the ship and it correlates to the weapon systems, that would be fantastic. That's why I was drawn to this at first. I don't think it's going to give me the experience that I thought it was going to give me, but that's okay. Because as far as just a, hey, we're playing a game for the gaminess of it, it works. Alright, so what we're going to do, well, let me show you the rules first. Here's the rule book. The rule book seems like it's going to be pretty lengthy, but actually the rules take up 1 page. The solitaire rules are from here, and they stop here. So it's like 2 columns. And then the 1 versus 1 takes up another page because, you know, it's a little more intricate. It's ship versus ship. But the single solitaire experience is 2 columns. Alright, easy. That's great. And then the rest of the game are scenarios that you can play in the 2-player style. You could probably solitaire this game. I don't see this being complicated to where you couldn't solitaire it. There's a blank page right there. So it does give you some scenarios to play. But the rules are like 1 page, which means I'll probably still find a way to muck it up, but, you know, let's see what we can do. So here we have, this is to sync the Hear You. That might be a while. That takes 26 and 16, a lot of airplanes. So we might not do that one. I think I'm going to go for Bismarck, not the Richelieu. I think we're going to go for Bismarck. Bismarck, I think they sent, what are those biplanes, swordfish biplanes to try and stop this thing? I'm going off my very terrible movie memory history of it. So we'll set that one up. Let me show you one other part about the components. And, you know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's my copy. When I got my copy, everything was still stuck in the punch board really well. I mean, they're not ugly counters. They look like airplanes just fine. Some have some nice little background. Fire's on fire. You know, I mean, they're not. But the ships are horrible counters. I'd like something that has nice looking counters as well. So like ship system displays. I don't know what we call those. And then some nice looking counters would be very, very cool. But what's interesting, just a note, this is like a weird cardboard. It's like very foamy, kind of squishy. Only if you like to squish your counters would you notice that. But here's the problem I had. And maybe if I zoom in just for a moment. Bing. All right, we're going to zoom in. Now, these will be upside down to you. I have misprinted counters, and it's like really, really bad. I have like counters, I think that's 9. I have counters 1 through like 11, no problem. I'm just lining them up. Because once I hit 13, let's see, I have 16, 11. Okay, here's 12. Just bear with me. Bear with me. 2 seconds here. Oh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah. Here's what I did. Yeah, so I'm actually not sure what to do. So first of all, this is all the aircraft I pulled out for the first mission I did against the whatever ship it was. Oh, you can't see that. I was lining these up, so I gotta zoom out just a little bit. There, without getting too crazy with the... You probably can't see that. Well, okay, so here we go. Basically it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was no 6. Even though I punched them from the sprue, I looked at them in the sprue. In the sprue, they're misprinted. There's no 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's no 13, but I have a 14, a 15, and 2 16s. I have 2 16s, but no 13 and no 6. I have here a marker that was just an extra, so I'm using that as the 6. So when I play that first scenario, the aircraft numbering is off. But it didn't break the game one bit. Not at all. And you'll see when we play, you'll see why it really doesn't matter. And they don't need numbers. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I could say A, terrible quality control. B, who gives a rip? It made no difference to gameplay whatsoever. So stop griping. Let me get a drink real quick. So if I had a live audience, I'd say, hey, what ship do you want to sink? Bismarck. Good, because that's the one I chose. So I'm going to pause for a moment and set up the Bismarck scenario. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's the mighty Bismarck. We're going to sink it with a whole bunch of these biplanes I have. So this sheet does not fit the entirety on my screen, so I'll probably do a whole lot of sliding this around, so we'll follow the flow down. Now the way the game works, I'm going to have my dice tower here. You won't be able to catch all of the dice rolling, but I'm going to try and catch some dice rolling. I also have the deck of cards. Well, you might be able to see that. Oh, that doesn't stop very good. Yeah, I lost part of the dice tower, so these dice will probably just go zooming all over the place. But yeah, we'll have to, I'll just put my hand to block them. So that way we can see some dice rolls. So the way that the game flow works, I'm going to have my deck of cards. I pick a plane starting at 1. These are aircraft launching from the Ark Royal, flying out across the ocean, and swarming down to attack the Bismarck. So what you do is you start by drawing a card for each plane. Now, there's not enough cards in the deck to do all of the aircraft. I don't think there's 24 cards. I didn't count. But I know in some of the scenarios where you take like the Hear You, for example, there's a lot more cards than you have planes. So it says when you run out of cards, you just reshuffle the deck and recycle. No biggie. But in each card will have something, usually a bonus or a penalty, but it's a random event. So this says radar. Radar corrects and guides artillery fire. Now, this particular scenario, there's no artillery fire involved, so it's quite possible this would be a handy-dandy card for the two-player game where you're shooting a battleship at another battleship. So I'm going to set the radar off to the side. Then we're going to start with plane 1. So plane 1, we'll go through the flow chart and we'll see what we do to the Bismarck. So I'm going to roll. I rolled a 5. So plane 1 comes in, hits this chart, and it says 2 through 3 would be an event. 4 through 12 is over here for your attack run. I'm going to have to say, when I played my practice scenario, I had like 14, 15, 16 aircraft. Not a single one rolled an event. They all went through this attack chart somehow. So here we go. I'm going to put him here. We're going to check to see if it's a hit or if it's a miss. So I roll an 8. 3 through 12 goes down to C, which is over here. Here's the attack run. This is our torpedo. Alright, good. Last one I did, these were all dive bombers. These are torpedo planes. And I know that because there's a torpedo symbol. I need to look. I'm wondering, just real quick, if any of these are a combination of, I think they're all just going to be either bombers or torpedo planes, and I'm honestly not sure if that makes much of a difference in the game. So this attack run is a bomber, torpedoes, and to Hear You is bombers. Okay, so what would be really cool, I could see right off the bat, is if you could make decisions for your carrier and the planes. You could choose bomber loadouts or torpedo loadouts. As it stands here, you just get one generic set of planes and they are all one type. So there is one decision point that you do not get to make as a player. You're all one type of aircraft. So anyway, we know that he's making an attack run. So we're going to see if it hits or if he misses. Oh, so this is, whoo. Alright, so here, these torpedo planes, this is interesting. This is a lot different than the other plane, the other ships that we attacked. So the other one was a very good chance of hitting. It was hard to miss. It had like 2 through 6 you hit, 7 through 9 was a water miss, and 10, 11 was just a complete miss. This here, I only hit on a 2 through 4. That means a majority of these planes are gonna miss. Interesting. So first run through is a 10. So that pops over here, which goes all the way down to the end, which is we're going to make an attempt to land on a carrier, and it's a 6. So on a 2, the plane crashes. On a 3 through 12, the plane returns triumphantly. And that's it. That's an attack run. Oh, you might be saying, that's pretty easy, Eddie. Yep, that's all there is to it. I draw a card. It says attack plan. Good plan improves, I'm trying to flip it here. Good plan improves results. Now what you do is you look down at the bottom and usually there's a symbol. Let's see if I can focus that. There's a symbol then what'll say, like for example here it says torpedoes are -2, bombs are -3. So that means when I'm rolling my attack roll, I get to subtract 2. And that's true because I want to roll low to try and hit with a torpedo. Alright, so here comes torpedo plane number 2. I gotta remember it's got a -2 modifier. So torpedo plane rolls a 6. So no event, but he starts his attack run. And we're gonna see if he's hit by AA fire. He's only hit by AA fire on a roll of 2. So that means the Bismarck has terrible anti-aircraft weapons. So I roll an 11. So it makes the attack run. And remember, only a 2 through 4 is a torpedo hit. I gotta roll low. 4! Woohoo! Plus remember, I get to subtract 2. So that's a hit. So I'm gonna bring it over here to the hit chart. And now we're going to roll to see if it's stern, mid, or bow. I rolled a 7, so it hits in the mid. You have damage charts. Well, for the mid of the Bismarck, it's all armor belt, baby. It does 1 point of damage. So I've got this, well, let's show you. So for the Bismarck, oh my gosh, it's all armor belt. Some of these ships have a lot of, like this one here, lots of options for potential damage, which was kind of fun when I played it. This was, yeah, the Königsberg. This here, Bismarck, armor belt in the middle, and I did 1 point of damage. I just shift the damage tracker 1. So for here, you want to get stern or bow for just a chance. Alright, so he made his run, and the aircraft then goes back to returning to the carrier. And remember, on a roll of 2, it's dead. And I rolled a 7, so that plane landed. Alright, now I will say this, the rules, honestly, one page of rules didn't make it clear at all. What happens when the aircraft return? It just says return to the Orkney, make a 2d6 roll for each aircraft that wasn't shot down during an attack to see if it returned home safely. Result 2, including modifiers, means the aircraft is lost. Single player mode. Before starting the game, all pieces should be placed on the table according to the setup description for the scenario card. Aircraft carriers fire, breach. See, this doesn't have fire, it just has the breach, and it's got the W for hit points. It just says endurance, W. I guess endurance in Polish starts with a W. Event deck should be shuffled in the air scenarios. Player controls the aircraft group. But there's nothing that says why it's important that the aircraft return to the carrier or not. I think in the last game I played, I lost exactly 1 plane, but there's no points. There's nothing that says why you would want to be, care. You're just flowing through the chart, and then your aircraft go back to the carrier. There's nothing in the rules that say once all the carriers have landed, launch another attack. So killing the Bismarck is going to be really, really tough. And that's the part that kind of bothers me, right? There's no player decisions. I don't get a combination of bombs or torpedoes. So I can see that torpedoally, this is going to suck horribly. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyhow, next plane. Maneuvers. The maneuvering ship is harder to hit. Okay, so now I got to make a +1 to my torpedo roll. So that will make it tougher to hit. So now plane 3, let's see if it's an event. I roll a 6, so it's not an event. It starts its run, so we'll see if it gets hit by anti-aircraft. It does not. So I make it to C for the attack, and we're going to roll. And remember, I got to add 1 to the roll because of the maneuvering. Wow, another hit. There's a 3. +1 is 4. Woohoo! So now we get to roll to see where I hit. Hopefully it's stern or bow. It's a 6, which is the midsection again, which is, according to the chart here, bing, 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 the armor belt. So that's 1 point of damage. So we'll just shift that now to a 28. I'm going to roll, because now the chart goes to E. We're going to see if I can land safely. I do. But again, it doesn't really matter, right? Unless you want to make a scoring system. Generally, it's you want to sink the ship. If you sink the ship, you win. This setup, maybe it's, I don't know. Alright, next plane, maneuvers. The maneuvering ship is harder to hit. Oh, we just had that. So the ship is now, as I try to make narrative for a game that has no narrative, it's now juking and jiving. It sees us coming in, and it's World of Warships. It's like hard to port, hard to starboard. It's trying to, maneuver across all these things. Alright, so here, a 5. It, no event, but it moves in now for the anti-aircraft fire. A 7, which is a combat, C for combat, but now we got to see if we actually hit. So it evades all the anti-aircraft fire, and now I have to roll. Remember, I need to roll a 2 or a 3, and that's a miss. So the attack is waved off, but I have to make a roll to see if the aircraft lands. It lands successfully. Boop. Okay, we draw a card for the next. It says, maneuvering ship is harder to hit. My goodness, that was terrible shuffling on my part. So here comes the next maneuver. And it scores a 4, which is just 1 higher than the event. So it's going to go in now to try and dodge anti-aircraft fire. Remember, if I roll a 2, it's a hit. Nope. So it makes the attack run. I hit the ship on a 2 through 4. But remember, it's maneuvering, so I got to hit it on a 2 or a 3. We rolled an 8, so that's another miss. I got to roll to see if that plane lands safely. Yep, it lands safely. Okay, next airplane, number 6. Directing fire system breaks. So if I had on here, I don't have bigger guns. This is looking at like maybe that's a bigger type of anti-aircraft gun. But that doesn't match the symbol that I have over here for the AA fire. So this does not affect. So plane number 6 swoops in. Let's see if he triggers an event on a roll of 2 or 3. And he does not. So now he is diving. Well, I guess they don't dive, but he is flying low across the water, lining up his torpedo shot. And he makes his run. Okay, let's see what he does here. Does he hit or does he miss? So he's going to hit on a 2 through 4. Oh, that's a miss. Really close. That torpedo just barely misses off target. So he's going to check to see if he returns home safely. Roll 2 is dead. That's a 4. So another plane returns home. Aircraft from Victorious. I can't read it upside down. Oh, I see. So you have 2 carriers. So you've got the first wave are from the Ark Royal. Second wave is from the aircraft carrier Victorious. Down at the bottom where it says where they're returning, there's a typo. So instead of saying aircraft from the Victorious, it says aircraft from the Victorioso, something. So it just looked weird upside down, but they're just returning back to their carrier. But again, that has no bearing on gameplay. Alright, so airplane 7 gets air recon. Recon plane corrects and guides artillery fire. And again, that's probably for main guns, which is not applicable here in the solitaire game. So, airplane 7 launches. It does not trigger an event, but he now skimming along the water. Let's see what the incoming anti-aircraft fire does. Rolls an 8. So he makes his attack run. Let's see if that torpedo scores a hit on a 2 through 4. I do not. Another torpedo swims off into the distance there. And we're going to roll to see if that plane lands successfully. It does. Just the 3 alone is a success. Because remember, these things crash on a roll of 2 exactly. There are some modifiers down here which really doesn't matter, but like if the plane was hit, if you had a wounded pilot or damaged engine, or if it says storm front, which would be off the card, or an event. The event I think is going to give you the storm front. But there is a chance that you could end up with like a wounded pilot or something, and that might modify your chance to land, which is great. If it mattered, it has no bearing whether they land or not. They could totally... I could lose every single plane, but there's nothing that says that they take off. I don't know. You could house rule and say, because my understanding is this is it. This is your one shot. If these aircraft don't do it, then the Bismarck escapes. And right now, we've gotten 2 torpedo hits on the belt. That's not good. And I've sent 7 aircraft. I have 24 total. So things aren't looking very good. Alright, so here comes, let's do the event. So this is now going to be plane 8. And he gets firefight team extinguishes the fire on the ship, which is great because the Bismarck does not burn. It does not have fire. The other little ship that I attacked, you could flood it, you could set it on fire. All 3 locations had damage potential. Like, that was fun. This is like, not much going on here. Okay, so we roll 11, so no event, but ship 8 goes down here. Let's see if they get hit by the AA fire. They do not. They begin their attack run. You may begin your attack run. 2 through 4 torpedo hits, and that's a miss. So now we check to see if that plane lands safely back on the Ark Royal. Roll 2 is a fail. They successfully land. Okay, airplane 9, strong wind. Strong winds affect the accuracy of the attack. So that means my torpedo has a +1 to hit. So I'll only hit on a 2 or a 3. Oops. Let's roll that. Alright, so plane 9 takes off. It does not trigger an event. It's going to see if it's hit by the anti-aircraft fire. It rolls a 9, so it begins its attack run. I have to add 1 to my torpedo roll because of the strong winds. We rolled, 7. Dang, I saw that 1 and I thought we're going to have another hit, but it's a miss. So another torpedo plane misses. We're going to see if it lands safely. It does. Strong winds. Nope, that's not one of the things that can affect the landing. Alright, so next airplane prepares. Cloudy sky. Immediate worsening of observation and attack conditions. Well, that's another +1 on my torpedo hit. So now plane 10 will launch. Let's see if there's an event. Nope. It takes off successfully. Oh, you know, I was going to say I was clipped counter corners here. This one doesn't look like it clipped very well. Let me try. That is as clipped as it's going to be. Alright, so 11. Alright, anyway. So there's no event on takeoff. Now we're going to see what happens with the anti-aircraft fire. Nothing. So plane begins its attack run. It will hit on a 2 through 4. That's another miss. Let's see if that plane lands successfully. It does. Alright. So next plane, number 11, gets ready. It says, your ship is attacked by a submarine. Okay, so my carrier... Oh, you know what? Okay, so the Bismarck. This card makes sense to me now. When I first played this one, I had no idea what it meant because there's no card description, but I think I figured it out. The W, see, at first I was thinking that meant like hull damage, but you know, it says it's endurance. So the ship is running away from you, and every hit that you do in certain spots makes it so your fleet, in essence, can catch up to the Bismarck. Okay, that actually makes sense now, because now that my ship is attacked, I have to see, potentially, does this make it easier for the Bismarck to escape? So I'm going to roll. It says roll 2 dice. I rolled a 5. And it says here on the card, on a 6 through 12 is no effect. But see, if I had rolled a 2 through 5, oh, I'm sorry, I rolled a 5. My bad. It says minus hit. Well, now I got to look here. Minus hit. What does that mean? Maybe -1 to my hit is all I can think of. No damage at all on a 6 through 12. It says -1 wound, -2 wound. It says wound, but it's the endurance. So I would think that if I roll 2 through 7. Oh, no, I get it. 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 All right, I figured it out. Reading comprehension. So on a 2 through 5, which is what I rolled, my ship was hit. Then I roll again down here to see how much endurance the Bismarck gets back because my pursuing ship was hit. That makes sense. Otherwise, if I roll a 6 through 12, no effect. So, alright, I rolled a 5. That means my carrier was hit. I rolled an 8. The Bismarck endurance goes up to 30. So, in the narrative of the story, boom! A submarine, Wolfpack, comes in, fires torpedoes at the Ark Royal, and boom, causes some slight damage to the carrier. So as it's trying to make way and repair, the Bismarck is able to get that much further away. Holy cow, it's going to be near impossible to catch up to this thing now. So plane 11 takes off with all the hopes of England riding on that pilot's shoulders. Oh, well, I rolled a 10. Forgot to use my tower. So there's no event. So now plane 11 races in below the barking of anti-aircraft fire, and he's able to successfully start his attack run. All of hopes and prayers of every man, woman, and child of England. Right, and he misses. Alright, so he's going to fly back. Let's see if he lands on the Orc. I keep calling it the Orc. The Ark Royal. And he successfully lands. Alright, so the next guy goes. It's a repair team. Repair team fixes damage on the ship, which gives +1 W. Well, why would you get a +1? How is that repairing? I don't know. Well, see, I thought I had it figured out with the plus and the minus on the endurance. So if the repair team fixes the damage on the ship, why would I gain a loss of endurance? Well, I'll go with that. Because maybe that's using up resources. I don't know. Alright, so anyway, here goes plane 12. Takes off. Oh, it's an eventful flight. 2 through 3. Alright, so plane 12 is on his way. What's the event? Plane 12 prepares to take off, and it is a plane crashed. Oh, okay. Well, that's eventful. That sucked. All right, well, there you go. That's important to know. See, that makes sense. I wouldn't mind finding out all the crashes and stuff before the flight, because, see, that's one less plane heading out. All right, cool. So here comes plane 13. See, that matters. See, if they crash when they return to the carrier, it doesn't matter. But if they crash taking off to go fly, that matters. Here we have engine room. Accident in the engine room slows your ship down. And then that gives +1 on the artillery. See, that makes sense because the ship, when it's slower, the guns are more accurate, I suppose. So that kind of makes sense for a moment. It doesn't say, it doesn't actually give you anything about how to slow a ship down. It just says it's slowed. All right, here comes plane 13. All right, here we go. It's got 7. It is starting the attack run. It's a 7, which means it's, well, first I checked anti-aircraft fire, now I make the attack run. Successfully navigated the anti-aircraft fire. I rolled a 7. It misses with its torpedo, so I'm going to roll to see if it crashes on landing. It does not. It successfully lands. Now, plane 14, anti-aircraft. Aircraft are targeted by strong and concentrated AA fire. So it says that all of your attack options are off the table. So this plane will check for an event. No event. So it takes off. And we're going to see if it survives the anti-aircraft fire, which it does, but there's no attack, so it goes to see if it can land. So it gets waved off by the withering anti-aircraft fire, and it successfully lands. Next airplane. Breakdown. Unexpected breakdown of the aircraft influences all kinds of aircraft, so it's +4 on the anti-aircraft roll. So plane number 15 launches itself. It rolls an 11, so it goes onto the anti-aircraft. Now remember, anti-aircraft, I now get a +4, which is weird, because you would want a low number. Oh, because the breakdown, I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe they meant to say unexpected breakdown of the anti-aircraft system. I don't know. But I rolled a 4, so he still makes his attack run. Let's see if he... Because 4 + 4 is 8, so he still makes it in there. He rolls a 4. It's another torpedo hit. Great. Where on the torpedo do we, on the ship do we hit? We hit on the 8, which again is the mid. That's one more loss of endurance for the Bismarck. Plane now goes to land. It successfully lands. That's plane 14. Oh yeah, plane 12 was shot down, so I gotta shift these here real quick. All right, that's the Ark Royal. So now we have the Victorious. Let's see, check for an event. Squall, immediate worsening of observation and attack conditions. So it's +1 on the torpedo roll. Is there an event? It launches uneventfully. So we see if it can avoid the anti-aircraft fire. 8, it does. It begins its attack run. We got to add 1 to the roll. I roll 6, it's a 7, so that's a miss. So we're going to see if it successfully lands at the Victorious. It does. Okay, plane 17. Directing fire. Good fire directing increases its effectiveness. -2 for artillery. Doesn't apply to us, so plane 17 takes off. No event. So now we're going to check to see if he survives anti-aircraft fire. And he does, so he begins his attack run. He's going to hit on a 2 through 4. Torpedo misses. Does he successfully land? We're running out of planes, and the Bismarck has barely been slowed down. Oh, he rolled a 3. That's still a successful landing. Okay, plane 18 gets a smoke screen. Attack ship lays a smoke screen, which is a +1 on the torpedo run. So now we'll see if there's an event on takeoff. Nope, there is not. We'll see if anti-aircraft stops that airplane. It's a 5. It does not, so it begins its run. Let's see. Do I roll a 2 through 4? Torpedo hits. All right, where does the torpedo hit? Torpedo hits on a 5, which is the center belt. So now I'm down to 27 endurance. Crazy. Does plane 18 land safely? It does. We've only got a handful of aircraft left, so we're just trying to race through them here. Rough sea, worsening of the torpedo attack. So again, +1 on torpedo attack. Plane 19 takes off. Uneventful. Makes its run through the anti-aircraft fire. It survives. It's going to make an attack roll of 2 through 4. It rolls a 12. So it's going to try and land. It rolls successfully. Alright, plane 20 prepares. Confusion. Loss of formation or troubles with finding the target. -4 flight to target, -4 flight to base. Oh, that might cause a problem. So we're going to see if there's an event on takeoff. So it's 6, -4 is a 2. That's an event. Let's see what the event is. Rolls a 7, which is plane returns to the carrier. But now we have to roll to see if he successfully lands. And it's a -4. I rolled an 8, -4 is 4, which is greater than the 2. So that plane successfully lands. Alright, so what we're going to do here real fast is a quick shuffle. I think you get the gist. I've only got 4 airplanes left. I'm going to say the Bismarck comes away the winner this time. So as I'm shuffling, there's no decision points. It's just a flow chart. I know some people really dislike that. Some people really like it. I wouldn't mind if there was 1 or 2 decision points, at least to decide if I want bombs. I wish the Bismarck could also be set on fire, maybe had some more damage options. Each ship does truly play different. That's a good thing. Oh, that's pretty cool. Each ship does play completely different. But again, it's all dice decisions. There's no thinking on my part. Radar corrects and guides artillery fire. So again, that's artillery, has nothing, that's the main gun. So plane 21 takes off, no event. We're going to see if he survives anti-aircraft fire. A 3, he does actually, because he would get hit on a 2. Does he hit with his torpedo? He does not. Does he safely land on the Victorious? He does. Okay, plane 22 gets good fire directing, increases effectiveness. So again, that doesn't do anything for us. No event on takeoff. Is he hit by anti-aircraft fire? He is not. He's going to make his attack run. Does he hit on a 2 through 4? He does not. So does he successfully land? And again, it doesn't matter. So definitely as a solo play, there's not a whole lot to do except roll some dice. It kind of makes this narrative story on its own. Smokescreen, +1 on torpedo run. Plane 23 takes off. No event. Does he survive the anti-aircraft fire? He does. And he makes an attack roll. Does he roll 2 through 4? Does not. Does he land successfully? Yes, he does. Last card. Maneuvers. The maneuvering ship is harder to hit. Is there an event for number 24? Nope. Does he survive the anti-aircraft fire? Yes, he does. Does he hit on a 2 through 4? Nope. That's a miss. Does he survive the landing? And then that's all the planes. Does he survive the landing? Nope. Oh, yeah, he does. He rolls a 7. So that's the game. I would love to see someone. I'll have to check Board Game Geek. I didn't check Board Game Geek to see if other people like this or not. But that's it. All I ended up was down to 27. So if you're going to play yourself, the idea would be to, you know, maybe get better each time. I don't see this thing sinking anytime soon. But I have no choice. A game like this, I might as well just roll a couple dice and say I sink it on a double 1. I didn't win, because that's all there is to it. I would love if I could say some of these are bombers, and then there would be a bomber attack chart, because the bomber seems a little more accurate. You know, if I could combine some of these ship charts, and then I could have here, the other ship I did had a first wave numbers and second wave aircraft numbers. Like, they changed depending on which wave of aircraft. So that would have been cool too. So there's potential here. It's like someone started a game and then stopped. I would love to take this and take it further and add some more to it. Ooh, well, I'll have to, maybe I will. Maybe I'll make my own. But there you go. That's Battleship Bismarck. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you've got some insight to the game. What do you do to spruce it up a bit? But that's the single player experience. I'm hoping the 2-player experience is better, but you know, I'll see. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.